The crew worldwide, from Cali to Twitter, real hardcore fans, boxing ass niggas, consistency cops, police the views, we'll pull up receipts for any debate you choose. Shout outs to Clan Archie for the dope production. Ring gang stay with the best discussions. Ring Gang Radio.
Good evening, y'all. Welcome to another episode of Real Talk, where as always, if shit's real, we talk about it. And I'm your host for tonight, Patscorpio, the New England representative. And as always, I got my man with me. I'm going to let him introduce himself.
Hey, what they do, y'all? Lauderdale Boss, a.k.a. Shutterworth, Soul Wars.
The GOAT artist.
Yeah, GOAT artist. Don't forget that.
Yeah, we can never forget that, you know what I'm saying? Because my man is talented with the pen and the ink and colors and all that shit. So yeah, LB, man, shit has definitely been real this week, you know. But before we get into all that, do a little recap of the fight between Terence Crawford and Jose Benavidez, man. So yeah, I mean, leading into this fight, there wasn't any. I mean, it was announced and all, and there didn't seem to be a lot of attention on it. I mean, it could be for various reasons. I mean, most people want Crawford to fight someone more on his level, or his perceived level, you know, and that's one thing. The other thing is Benavidez is largely unknown. Hardcore's has seen a couple of his fights, know who he is. I mean, his most famous fight prior to this was his fight with Mauricio Herrera, a fight where most people thought, myself included, that he lost. That LB, I think, thinks this feels the same.
He definitely lost that shit.
Yeah, and then two, like I said, I mean, it didn't seem like ESPN, which is the home of Top Rank and any Top Rank events, didn't seem to do any type of promotion for it, which is kind of odd. And it was even odder to me as Terence Crawford and Jose Benavidez do not like each other. As prior to this fight to even being signed, there was a video of them, where one of the, both of them were asking for the fade, you know what I'm saying, on camera, and I don't think that, and I don't think, and why the fight was made, I don't think that was made known to anybody until the weigh-in, you know what I'm saying, because I think them niggas kept largely quiet about it, as they were doing the preparations. But it's at the weigh-in that all hell broke loose, you know what I'm saying, they got in each other's face. Benavidez shoved him. Crawford threw a right hook, which he may have pulled. I mean, it was almost straight out of Creed too, when Tony Bellew, cracked Andre Ward in the shit and broke his jaw, as the movie storyline goes. That's what I was thinking when that shit was going down. And then after them niggas started talking to each other on Twitter and shit like that, talking big shit. And I think that last minute promotion. Also combined with also having this card air after college football game contributed to the attention that it got. But make no mistake, it was definitely the antics at the weigh-in that all of a sudden got people say, "Hey, yo, these niggas don't like each other. Oh my god, they're gonna thump." Yeah.
Commercials in between the football games.
What's happening?
I heard they were putting the commercials during the football game.
I heard that too. I don't. Surprisingly, I do not watch college football, which is odd since I watch NFL. I didn't watch any of those games either. But yes, I think that was the case. They did have commercials between those between the football games, because and that was good because the ratings, when they did the ratings breakdown for this shit afterwards, is like Birmingham, because I think Alabama was playing, had like the highest rating share, man, of all of them. It was something insane. So that was actually good last minute marketing for this fight. Between two niggas that they don't like each other. They haven't liked each other. So, like I said, because to me, T-Craw didn't deserve to go out like a fight where there was no type of heat or whatever, especially when there actually was legitimate heat. So LB, man, what'd you think of that fight, man?
First of all, the fight kind of just appeared out of nowhere, kind of just snuck up on us because no one was anticipating this fight, even though they had the little beef and all that shit. And it was another one of those fights that we knew Crawford would be the overwhelming favorite, and new division, same shit. Like, I'm gonna be honest, take nothing away from Crawford. Crawford, a top 5 pound for pound guy in my book, but I thought he would, beat Benavidez ass, knock him out, and that's pretty much what happened. Fight started off competitive for the first maybe 2-3 rounds, and then Crawford, got in his groove, was just tagging Buddy throughout the fight, and at the end he that uppercut, counters, and then he just wasted him, just stunned his ass. That was it. And ain't nothing else much to say. Who he fighting next, right?
Yeah, I mean, the fight itself. What I took away from the fight was, Benavidez was more than competitive. That's for damn sure. One thing I actually found interesting is Benavidez was having him like reset, like like a soft reset every single time, because Crawford had trouble with his reach. Because Benavidez, is a tall, lanky welter. You know what I'm saying?
He was catching both with the jab. He was making the jab work for him in the early rounds. But
because they were definitely they were definitely having a battle of the jabs, but not in the tentative way where they were pairing each other's jabs, whatever. But they were just trying to jockey for space, try to jockey for a dominant position. Yeah, exactly. Nothing wrong with that. But I found pretty much every time. But I found too, Benavidez was landing them right hands. Like, Crawford got tagged more times than I've seen him get tagged, probably since Gamboa. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, man. I don't remember. Crawford got the dude landed on Crawford a couple times, but it was nothing. It didn't seem like there was punches that had anything on them like that. Just some arm punches.
But that's why I said those punches were having Crawford reset, because it wasn't like he was because usually when Crawford goes in, he'll go in he'll stay aggressive. Those right hands was having him reset. Like, every time he's doing that, he and because for a righty, he stays in the Southie position all the time. For whatever and it works for him. I'm not gonna knock. He's one of the people that actually does that shit right. And then it was pretty much the same thing. And it got to the point where it's just you gotta do extended work to the body. For a nigga like Benavidez, man, you gotta take away his body. And I found that too.
Herrera did.
What's that?
I'm saying Herrera did.
Yeah, Herrera definitely did. And Herrera doesn't even have probably a fifth of the power that Crawford has. Shit, I don't even think I've as much as I've watched Herrera, I don't think I've even seen him knock anybody down. Much less, I don't think I've even seen him stop anybody, even though he has 7 stoppages. But that's a whole other conversation, man. It was just I found it interesting that Crawford really wanted to try to take him up, but just the fact that he was getting tagged clean with those arm punches was having him reset until finally the body work, and also too. Benavidez has the bad right knee, I believe.
Right. That was definitely a factor, because I felt like it affected his punching power. He wasn't really able to sit down on his shots.
Nah, not at all.
Get leverage. So, and through all that, he still kept it competitive, but I don't really see it as no fight where he was in there. Like, Crawford was definitely winning at the time of the stoppage and winning clearly.
Yeah, I think Benavidez, probably at the most you can give him was probably maybe 3 rounds.
Right. And I thought he had maybe 2, but 3 rounds is definitely the limit.
Yeah, but he was in there because like I said, it wasn't like he was getting hurt by his punches. Like, every time he got both of them niggas was posturing and posing like a motherfucker in that fight too. Every time they landed some shit on him, niggas would be posing and shit like that, and then get back to work. But I said,
Crawford was just throwing at the target. Like, he wasn't really trying to punch through him and really land with power. It's just he was just connecting. and staying busy on them.
Yeah, and it wasn't until he landed the uppercut from hell. You know, and I think the uppercut just took. I mean, that basically ended the fight. Like the ref should have just stopped that shit right there and then. You know, because that uppercut was. I mean, it's rare you see right uppercuts land that clean. And you know, it's not. It wasn't like it's a short right uppercut. But that shit came from the abyss, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? You know. That uppercut rocked his whole fucking world. That nigga saw lots of things, man. You know, and a lot of that shit probably didn't make sense of what he saw, you know. So yeah, that uppercut ended the fight, man. But you know, he got up. Benavidez got up, you know, showed him saying he was a man about it. He got up, but shit was a wrap. Crawford smelled blood, and then like that final right hook that pretty much knocked him down as the referee was waving that shit off, man. Yeah, he was done. It was and like I said, and yeah, that was that. And I think just because most people were waiting for that, and the fact that the knockout was so spectacular, you know, and that's what people wanted to see. You know, just like, hey, these niggas hate each other, and the fight ended in a brutal knockout or a brutal stoppage. That's what it is.
And you know what? You got to give Crawford credit. You know, even though he's fighting guys that are, you know, like he always trying to close the show. He fight mean, and you know, he always try to stop dudes. And you gotta respect people who, even if they fighting inferior guys, they not, you know, letting them go to the distance. They not, you know, playing with them and you know, playing tag and making the fight closer than they need to. They just go there and take care of business. And I like that about Crawford.
Right.
I want to, you know, see him fight some better cats now, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Like I said, Crawford fights mean, like, and that's what, and that's what I like to see in fighters. Like, yeah, you can be a skilled fighter and all, but I want to see a killer instinct. I want to see a very, very, very clear killer instinct. Like when a nigga's in trouble or whatever, you go and try to end the shit. And Crawford does that shit probably better than anybody in boxing today. And he does it skillfully too. It's not no wild shit. And you're not like flailing your arms and shit trying to land something. You know, I mean, the nigga throws punches with bad intentions with good form. You know?
Yeah, accurate
as fuck. So yeah, I mean, so like I said, you know, Benavidez, you know, he went down in defeat, and I mean, where do you see Benavidez going, man?
I don't even know, man. He finally got his big shot, and
he wasn't 100% really. So most
he wasn't even. You're exactly right, man. He wasn't 100%, and you know, he did everything he could, but you know, he fell short. He should, I guess, he should really heal up and make another shot at it, but.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, hopefully get some extended rehab for his knee, some physical therapy, some shit like that.
And go after some fringe contenders.
Yeah, you know, at 147, depending on, you know, that could be a dangerous thing. You know, especially if your mobility is less than 100%, you know, so yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe he may find his way back to, you know, a shot at a title. You know, whether or not it will be Crawford's title or anyone else remains to be seen. You know, and now as for Crawford, I mean, everyone pretty much now is gonna be like, okay, yeah, you know, yeah, nigga, you scored this knockout, man, it was good, but
he's not pound for pound number one. Let's get that. Let's just say that first. He's not pound for pound number one.
I mean, I have him up there, man. Like I said, obviously, I mean, I think more highly of him than, let's say, a nigga like fucking like Lomachenko or something like that. Or
stop the madness, stop the insanity.
Nah, nigga, I'm not talking stopping the madness. You know how I feel about Lomachenko, man. You know.
Lomachenko beat way better competition. He's not struggling or even losing rounds to guys like Benavidez level though, man. Like, let's keep it 100, man.
No, I mean I tried to, man, but let's say when niggas didn't agree with me when I said that Salido would beat Lomachenko. Niggas would tell me different shit, bro.
I gotta pay for that, like.
They got paid for that, man, because no one was saying that shit. That's why. So I told you, it was you got to air on experience. You got to air on experience. You're not gonna beat no rugged Mexican jumping around like a fucking bean and shit like that, hopping in and out and shit. You're not gonna be a rugged Mexican.
Lomachenko's a better fighter right now, and I would love for him to fight Salido and close that chapter. But if he doesn't, he still had a good showing in that fight despite the loss, so I could live with that. But that brings around to my whole point. He's fought the caliber of fighters like Salido and better, and for the most part he's made them quit, had great fights with him. Great performances with him. It's just, there's no way I could put Bud in his resume over Lomachenko.
Well, no.
Lomachenko's fought real threats, man. Like Nicholas Walters, Lanero.
That was a terrible fight, and so was the Rigo fight, and so was.
But come on. Bud has nothing.
This thing also too, and then plus, with Lomachenko, he didn't necessarily clean up any of them divisions. He didn't clean out 130 or 126.
He didn't. I wish he did.
That's one of the big. Whereas Crawford, at least during Gawd 147, did his thing at 135. Didn't unify it, but unified the fuck out of 140. Something that someone like Danny Garcia didn't do. You know what I'm saying? He unified.
You fought better fighters at the weights though, so it don't matter if you cleaning out divisions if the guys you cleaning up ain't worth a damn. Like to me, you can't compare Delorme to Kendall Holt and Amir Khan and Lucas Matisse. You can't compare Victor Polestar. Fuck out of here, Bud is solid. He a Hall of Famer right now. But niggas just talking almost sounded like they ready to push him all-time great, and he hasn't fought a threat yet. Who has he fought where someone is given at least 25% chance of winning against Bud? Who?
Let's see. That's a good question.
Exactly. Like if you compare everybody else's top wins to Bud's, his shit is underwhelming. And I'm looking at people at top 5 pound for pound. Does Bud even have a win that's as good as Robert Easter?
No, Robert Easter. It's not like he hasn't Crawford hasn't been up any undefeated fight, hasn't taken a 0.
He hasn't, but comparing. Okay, has he beat someone as good as Danny Jacobs?
Subjective. Danny Jacobs. There's a Gamboa, in this record.
But we're talking about in relation to threat and skill, because you could fight skilled guys all day, but you and I know that there's a difference when you're in the ring boxing someone and he might be more skilled than you. Your only worry is basically him outboxing you or maybe catching you cold or some shit. Whereas when you fighting guys who are skilled, highly skilled, and got power or real speed and power, shit that could really turn the fight around with one movement, and you gotta be on guard 100% of the time, no slack off. Gamboa was a threat, at lightweight, but even then he was moved up and he wasn't at his best at lightweight because of the inactivity and Gamboa ain't big enough to really be effective at light. So Bud even had that going for him. But after Gamboa, who are these dangerous niggas he's fighting? Lomachenko, He easily got fought bigger threats than Bud, man. It's like it's Bud on Broner level.
Yeah, I mean, but like I said, he also lost to one of them threats too, even though most people didn't think so.
But okay, well, what's more important? Fighting the tough fights, and you say you fight 10 tough opponents and you lose to one, or you fight 10 opponents that are, lesser than you. They are alright, you got a few tough ones in there, but you beat all of them in person.
And that is the $1 million question with Terence Crawford and his place in boxing. It's one of those questions. It's like you clearly see the skill, but if you go by resume, most people don't think that. But and this is why, like I said, we want, let's say Crawford to face someone notable.
He's done everything we've expected him to do.
And we know how it is in boxing. I think the big thing right now is Crawford versus Errol Spence. And because I think that's probably has the most traction in terms of, or traction the most talk about it. Where last month or so, Spence got on the mic drunk as hell. Talked about that Terence was on the wrong side of the road and shit like that, and he ain't gonna find ESPN. And I was like, nigga, that's not the type of shit that you need to be saying. And he's come over to PBC and all this other shit. And it's just like, if you want to see them fights, you guys have situations where your promoter works for you. You promoter should come together and make this shit happen, or try to make it happen. That's the thing, because you have Crawford, the WBO welterweight champion. You have Errol Spence, the IBF champion. You have Keith, who is AWOL from the division. You have Manny Pacquiao, who unfortunately did not, and this is why I admittedly did not want no parts of Crawford, because that probably would be at the end of the line. And then we have Sean Porter, the the WBC welterweight champion. I almost said IBF, but that was years ago. Any of those fights in any combination would probably do wonders. It's not a one-sided thing where it's Crawford, but for both, it works both ways. Like the welterweight champions facing each other would increase the reputations for any of those champions involved. But it's one of those situations where there's just that political red tape that unfortunately.
I'm tired of giving these niggas excuses, man. They come at
me too. Yeah, you know how tired I am talking about, bashing 147 for the shit that goes on there. I say all the time that 147 isn't
these
shit.
These dudes don't really want smoke. They don't really want to fight, man. Everybody wants to get one little decent win and just sit around and twiddling their thumbs and shit. Like, niggas ain't really about that life like that, man.
Right.
These niggas, that's why it's so top heavy, because everybody fights the same level of competition without fighting each other, and then everybody sits at the top 5 and we're like, damn, like anybody could beat anybody. Like come on, Bud realistically needs to fight. If he can't fight Errol Spence, I like to see him get in there with a damn Sean Porter or even a Devin Alexander at this point. Even though Devin Alexander, PBC killed his momentum with the bad decisions and shit, I haven't seen him lose since Khan. I'ma just be real. Like, the man ain't lost since Amir Khan fight. So,
are you sure it's the Khan fight? I mean, because he did lose to what's his name?
Oh, that one Aaron Martinez, I think.
Yeah, man, he lost that.
Okay,
yeah.
That fight, okay, yeah. He hasn't lost that fight.
That shit made me sad too that he lost that fight. Yeah. Nigga was out there high as a kite, losing to a
the point I'm making is he hasn't lost since he did that official come clean comeback.
Yeah, right.
No one ain't and that's one of the angles that they could use to even promote that. No one's beaten him since he's really come back. and PBC fucked that up. So it's like that's still one decent opponent that Crawford could fight. Has Crawford beat somebody on the Devin Alexander level?
And Devin shit probably has beaten more dangerous fighters than most of the current welterweight champions. Shit.
Exactly.
The motherfucker has an official win over Lucas, which is disputed, and Maidana, who probably gave Maidana the worst loss of his career. And most people don't like to hear that because Floyd struggled with them, but that is that. And Broner.
We got Robert Garcia made Marcos Maidana 3 times the fighter he was.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah. So what happened before when fucking Khan survived and won a war with him? You know what I'm saying? So it's like there's not that much difference, and most people just can't understand.
Vito Lopez was going life and death with Maidana too.
So the Karras
was giving him word.
Yeah, make no mistake. Make no mistake. Maidana, was an entertaining fighter, and and unfortunately, him with the early retirement probably hurt the quality of the welterweight division because that dude had a lot left, in my opinion. Yeah. But unfortunately, the Broner and the Floyd fights probably made him just slightly overrated, especially if you've never watched any of his fights before those.
That's one less puncher at welterweight, but you know who else that's at welterweight I like to see fight Bud? Mm-hmm. And that's besides Porter and Devin Alexander, Omar Figueroa.
Yeah. And
that's someone else right there.
And it's funny too because those two have a common opponent in Ricky Burns, whereas Crawford beat Burns.
Both struggle with him, to be honest.
Oh yeah. Oh no. I thought Omar lost to Ricky Burns. I thought that was a clear loss. I couldn't believe that he actually.
I disagree on that, but it
was not. It was close, but it was not like a draw close. It was close as in Omar was probably drained from trying to make weight because he was all types of out of shape, and Burns has a chin out of this world, considering who he's fought, and probably came in with a plan, and. Like I said, made that shit really close to that, but it was a clear loss. But that's for another conversation. But I would love to see that fight. Omar is not. But who knows what Omar is doing right now? He's probably not even a fucking welter anymore. He's probably a light heavyweight.
Omar Figueroa, get your shit together, man.
Yeah.
Good, man.
But I think with the WBO, I already know there's already an eliminator that's going to be happening. I think. November, and unfortunately, it's not going to be anyone that we would probably want to see in the ring with Crawford. Although I think
you got some other career mode nigga out of the damn.
No, it's that dude Lean Machine, the one with the name I cannot pronounce, is like Egidus or the K or whatever. I won't even begin to pronounce that name. I just said Lean Machine because that's the way. That's his nickname, and I'm like, shit, nigga. That's what I'm gonna call it, man. If that's what. He's probably the potential next. Huh?
I said, wouldn't it be so bad if these cats fought more, throughout the year,
Right. Crawford tries to be active as he can. This was his second fight of the year. Since beating up Jeff Horn.
We in October, and this is second. It just happened to be his second fight.
Yeah, I know, man. It's like one of those situations. But yeah, like I said, welterweights.
Another fringe, C-level welterweight.
Yeah, man. Like I said, that's the way welterweights go. Like I said, Crawford. Crawford probably will. Depending on how. Crawford's still very much in his prime. And I fear that he probably will not get the respect he does deserve, because like I said, the man is legitimately skilled. He's not like a career move. Dude is a generational talent in my opinion. But unfortunately, like I said, politics
until he fights a true threat, man. It's the same way people was holding back on Golovkin, giving him that respect. It's like even then, Golovkin fought, punchers and guys who, with threats. Like, Crawford still haven't given this, like if you have a mythical matchup with Crawford, there's a lot of guys I really couldn't pick him to beat because I haven't seen him beat those level of fighters. Like, I don't know if he beats Zab.
Well, I think he would beat. I mean, well, it depends what version of Zab we're talking about. He thrashed Zab. If we're talking about current days, he thrashed Zab.
Focus Zab, nigga. Prime Zab, nigga. Not Zab now, nigga. Come on, man. How dare you? No, I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you put Bud in some mythical matchups, it's like I can't even begin to say who he beats, because who has he beaten now for me to say, okay, who wins? Crawford and Zab Judah. Who wins? Crawford and let me see. Ben Taki. Let me see. Who does Crawford beat Costa Zoo? I just want to know, like, does he beat Aaron Pryor?
I mean, like I said, hopefully, definitely next year. I'm not gonna say 2 years, 3 years out, because that's just
May as well at this rate.
Yeah, that's just put unnecessary energy in the air, bad energy. But yeah, I definitely, hopefully that 2019, somebody steps up to the plate, so we know. Unfortunately, like I said, Crawford lost his legacy fight with Pacquiao, who was the guy, because
that was never going to be his fight, man. Their career trajectories were just moving in two different paths. Like, Crawford just now really got to the top of the sport. Like
well, let's put it this way. There's a reason why Jeff Horn was made a transitional champion, because he sure as hell didn't beat Pacquiao. That's for damn sure.
Exactly.
Because it's like, because Pacquiao, is still better than a lot of motherfuckers, even a 39, about to be 40-year-old Pacquiao.
True, but it's another fight where we're giving Crawford the advantage, where Crawford would be the favorite. And yeah, Pacquiao is still a threat. He's better than anybody Crawford's beat. Yeah, we get that. But we still giving, it's like, and it's like, well, Pacquiao, what's in it for him? Like, he could fight a guy like Broner and get the same hoopla against a style in a more competitive fight, more entertaining.
Yeah, but I think Broner
more money
as a joke though these days.
But we know that, but he's still a name for the resume. Who is Crawford beat on a Broner level? So it's like, why even do Crawford even bring that type of money to even entice Pacquiao to just get fed to him?
But saying it's not the money. It's just like, this should be changing. This is why I always stress, I've always stressed, if you're an aging champion in there, it's a dog-eat-dog world, man. Like I said, survival of the fittest, man. If you want to be on top, you fight who you fight, or you get taken out. I always think, like, if the fighter is overstaying his welcome, it's time for someone to escort him to the door.
Right.
And this is how I felt about the heavyweight division. That's how I felt about the light heavyweight division. That's how I felt about middleweight division. That's how it goes, and that should have been the natural progression at welterweight, and especially welterweight. I always said welterweight needed to be cleaned out, and Pacquiao is a great.
At one point, I thought we was gonna see Crawford and Pacquiao, but what ruined it was the postal performance.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the missed opportunity. Crawford needed to go out there and beat up that damn great value Klitschko and fucking and fucking call out Pacquiao after a dominating performance and get everybody buzzing for that fight. What happened was Crawford had a boring, uninspiring ass performance against Postal in a fight no one remembers, and no one remembers or tries to remember anything from that night. And it was a missed opportunity to really be like, okay, Yeah, like the hardcores know that Pacquiao avoided Crawford, but that was Crawford's moment to make sure that everybody knew Pacquiao avoided him. And the thing is, at the time, Pacquiao was fighting Bradley and Vargas, so it's not like he was running from the man because he was right there. But it's like Crawford just couldn't really just get popping like that.
Right.
He's at that moment now, but look, we don't care about Pacquiao and Crawford no more, because look, we see he in a division where he got Spence, he got fucking damn Porter, he got Thurman, he got all these other guys that we want to see him in there. He got Danny Garcia, all these other niggas that's right there for him. And shit, let Pac take these damn bullshit entertaining farewell tour fights with Broner and fuck. I'm all good for that, but nah, nigga, you gotta face some threats, my nigga.
Yeah, and then hopefully, like
Run that shit.
It's not just Bud that face quote unquote threat. It's like every one of these welterweight champions, 2019, need to get their shit together. You know,
Yeah.
It's a new day. It's a new year.
Definitely, because look, compare them to all the other divisions. It's like these niggas is like way behind, like
very much so. And you know, and this is supposed to be the welterweight division, the so-called marquee division. I've been talking about this shit for years. I talk about this shit in 154. 154 leveled the fuck up, you know.
Yo.
And it took Floyd letting go of those two belts he had that he barely defended. But
160 leveled up.
What was that?
160 leveled up, shit.
160,
Even 160.
175 is
175.
What cruiserweight 130 at one point was there. 130 is kind of fizzled out. 126 is still cool.
135 leveled up. Look, you had Garcia, Easter, Loma, Linares, like.
Yeah, I mean, 140 is even rebounding with the world about to supersede. Same thing with bantamweights. You know, bantamweights is pretty much whoever wins that shit is probably going to be it's probably going to be the lineal ruler, as well as having 3 of the 4 belts. You know, that division. You know, 115 is leveled the fuck up. I mean, 115 wasn't even on America's radar. You know what I'm saying? You know, and you know that shit now has its own series and shit. People want to see it. Imagine that. You know what I'm saying?
Like, y'all gotta get that shit together. Like y'all holding up the progression of boxing, to be honest. Like,
right,
y'all behind right now.
Right.
Every other division is trying to pop.
Yeah, I mean, even fucking heavyweight. Heavyweight is top heavy as a motherfucker.
Exactly. Even heavyweight, we done had them Joshua Povetkin, Joshua Parker, White, Chisora, Tech, Wilder, Ortiz, Wilder, Fury. Like, come the fuck on, my nigga. Like,
right.
Welterweights, get y'all shit together. Y'all niggas ain't fucking special.
Exactly.
All y'all niggas is just posturing with just 1 or 1.5 good wins on y'all record.
Yeah, I mean,
a lot of y'all niggas don't even deserve y'all hype like that. Like Porter, even Swift, because from what he did at 140, I give him a little pass. You know what I mean? But even then, he's fought Thurman and Porter. Yeah, he lost, but end of the day, he's making those fights, man. Bud, you gotta do that shit too. Spence, Peterson, fucking Lamont Peterson is a guy. Has Bud fought someone as good as Lamont Peterson? Kell Brook, I mean, let's go, man. I'm done with these niggas, man. Let's see some fucking fights.
Yeah, I agree, man. Like I said, you know, but like I said, take nothing away from Crawford. You know, Crawford did his thing. You know, and I was thoroughly impressed because, like I said, you know, I like how the nigga fights, though. But yeah, like I said, we got hopefully see some stiffer competition and progression overall in the welterweight division.